Hi guys, welcome back to Blondie Reels. Today I will explain the horror and drama movie called The Other Lamb, released in 2019. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film begins with a cult of mostly women and girls in this cult. All the people in this cult lived in the midst of forests and mountains and had no connection with the outside world. In this entire cult, there was only one man named Shepherd. Shepherd was the leader of this cult, and whatever he said here, these women believed it without a second thought. The women in this red-clad group were all Shepherd's wives, and the girls in blue dresses were Shepherd's daughters. They all believed that the Shepherd was their god. In fact, all these women were giving up their lives, but when it comes to Shepherd, Shepherd changed their entire life. And that's why all these women believed everything about Shepherds. Shepherd had a daughter named Scylla. Scylla always thought of her mother. In fact, her mother died soon after Shira was born. Shepherd also loved Scylla the most of all his daughters, because Scylla was as beautiful as her mother. Scylla always asks Shepherd about his mother, but he always ignores Scylla's testimony. Shepherd set many rules here, such as if someone got sick here, they wouldn't be taken to the hospital or treated in the woods. And if any woman has a period here, the Shepherd kept her away from the group for several days, because Shepherd believed that women get dirty during their period. There were two other women in the group, and the Shepherds kept them out of the group. One of them was sick all the time, and the other didn't follow Shepherd's rules. Shepherd put these two of hers in a coop away from him. All the people in that cult thought these two women were dirty and didn't want to talk to them. One day, while Sarah was pasturing goats, she got her first period. Scylla can't understand this and is screaming here. Scylla gets scared and even kills goats here. When Scylla came home in the evening, she didn't tell anyone about her period. When Shepherd asked her about that dead goat, she lied here and said that the goat had been killed by a wild dog. Shepherd believed Scylla and said nothing. Shepherd doesn't know anything about Scylla's period, so he doesn't say anything. At night, two officials come to the Shepherd. These officials ask him to go with his group. In fact, the Shepherd secretly lived with his companions in this forest. The police issue this warning and say if these people don't leave, then they will arrest all the people in their group. Shepherd had no choice, so he told his wives that we must leave now because the people of this world cannot see us in peace. On the Shepherd's orders, his daughter and his wife go with the Shepherd to find another place with their belongings. People were all very excited about their new location. Scylla, on the other hand, was lost in thought. In fact, last night Scylla saw Shepherd talking to a police officer, so Scylla began to have doubts about the Shepherd. Then we see these people were looking for another place to camp. During the day, a group of Shepherds roamed here and there. And at night, these people stop and rest while they sleep. At night, Scylla keeps having nightmares in which Shepherd looks like the bad guy. But she thought it might be because of her period. The next day, they see an old, empty house while walking. However, the Shepherd refuses to stay in someone else's house, believing it is against his rules. That's why everyone pitches tents and camps outside the house. In the morning, a woman finds out that Shira is on her period. She informs the Shepherds about the period of Sarah. Therefore, the Shepherd sends Scylla to Sarah for a few days. At first, Scylla didn't speak to Sarah, but little by little she started talking to her. Sarah tells Scylla a lot about Shepherd. She says, "Sarah, your mother was seriously ill when you were born. If the Shepherd had wanted, he could have saved her mother by taking her to the hospital and giving birth. But he didn't take her mother to the hospital. So upon giving birth to Scylla, her mother died there soon after." Sarah says Shepherd is not good as he looks. He's just as bad on the inside. I learned a lot about him, so he pretended to be unclean and left me out of the group, so I couldn't tell these people his truth. After listening to her, the suspicion that had been floating around her was now cleared. Scylla said to Sarah, "Why don't you run away from here?" Sarah says she can't leave here because she has nowhere else to live. The next day, while looking for a destination, Scylla finds a car. Looking at it, she seems to be sitting in that car like a normal teenager and living a normal life away from this group, but then Adriel screaming. In fact, Adriel was pregnant and was walking all the time, which started the pain in his abdomen. There were no hospitals or homes to help in this place. Now, even though Adriel doesn't want it, the delivery has been made. Here Adriel is born as a boy. However, after giving birth to him, Adriel dies here. Shepard doesn't care about his wife's death. Shepard quickly burns Adriel's body here and tells everyone to move on from here. Scylla, however, is very angry with the Shepard, and she holds him responsible for Adriel's death. But Shepard doesn't care what she says. Sarah leaves Shepard's group forever with Adriel's child. Adriel's child was a boy, and by law, there was no place for boys in the cult. So the Shepard left the child in the forest, but Sarah adopted him. When Sarah leaves this group, she tells Scylla that Shepard is neither a good man or a god, and she must bring Shepard's truth before everyone. On the other hand, the women were all exhausted from the constant walking, so they stopped in one place to rest. Shepard thinks it could be going in the wrong direction. Then the group's daughter, Tamar, says maybe they should go this side. Hearing this, Shepard thinks she probably is going to be the leader. Shepard becomes angry with Tamar and begins beating her. Scylla observes all these things, but no one from the group comes to help Tamar. After walking for several days, all these people come near the lake. Shepard asks to camp here. Shepard cleans all the women one by drowning them in this lake. After dinner, everyone goes to bed. After everyone has gone to sleep, the Shepard invites Scylla to his tent. When Scylla comes to see Shepard, he tells her that you were as beautiful as her mother. Shepard wanted to have physical relations with Scylla, but Scylla protested herself, so Shepard left. After he leaves, Scylla, along with her sisters, begins imagining the Shepard being killed. Scylla goes to each tent in turn and she tells all about Shepard's. During the walk, Scylla's sisters all saw Tamar being severely beaten by a Shepard, so everyone believes what Cyrus says. The next morning, Scylla and her sisters wake up to find that her mother is missing. All these sisters end up on the shore of a lake in search of their mother. Here the Shepard sat alone. Next to it were the clothes of his wife Shara and her sister. When the Shepard asked about her mother, she replied that I had sent your mother to heaven. So now you can all take the place of your mother and be my wife, and when the time is right I can send you to paradise. Shepard says that Scylla will be my favorite wife, and everyone has to believe what she says. However, Scylla refuses to become his wife. Because of this, the Shepard angrily beats her. When Sarah also loses control of herself, and she loudly slaps Shepard. Then they find out that Shepard killed their mother by drowning them in a lake. After that, there are two policemen near the lake. They found bodies of many women can be seen on the shores of the lake. These bodies belonged to the Shepard's wife, who he drowned and killed in the lake. Officers also find Shepard's body in the woods, who was killed together by Scylla and her sisters. Scylla went free with her sisters after killing the Shepard. And here our movie ends. Hope you like the video. For more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.